Shalom, shalom to the brethren. What up to everybody else? Thanks to his son, Yahushua HaMashiach, his salvation, the savior of a people that so desperately needed, saving us from sin, saving us from oppression from sin, oppression from wicked leaders, from doctrines of men, from all manner of oppression. He has sent his son to save us. He has sent his salvation upon us to do so. And I want to take this time to, as always, cause my people to consider. I want to give y'all something to consider. And I just don't want to just talk to you about what you ought to do. I want to tell you what I've done, what my life has been, and show you the favor, right? The sign of continuance. That's what Yah has given me. He has given me signs of my continuance. His grace. And hopefully, by my testimony, you might be encouraged as well. I got several different ones. I'm trying to give you as many as I can think of. I got out of prison in 2017. You know, drug case, house got kicked in. I had a roommate. We had the kind of spot that, you know, was a spot. We ended up going to prison. Police didn't really know who I was or none of that. They was after my roommate, and, you know, they had heard rumors about stuff. But anyway, when they came, they caught me at a bad time. They caught me with the hot potato. You know what I'm saying? Had the hot potato on me, on my pussy. So I got locked up. I go down. I come out. While I'm down, I lose everything. Lose my place. You know, something I didn't know, because I hadn't been involved in a kick-in, was that when you get kicked in, mind you, in the kick-in, they couldn't get the front door down, and they couldn't get the back door down. So what they did was they broke out all the windows. They surrounded the house and broke out all the windows when they came in. So when they locked us up and took us down to the police station, I'm guessing the house was wide open. So people broke in and took a lot of stuff. What was left of my stuff, I gave to an ex. And the ex got involved with somebody else to the point to where she got rid of all my stuff. So while I'm in prison, I lost everything. So I end up getting out to a halfway house. The halfway house, when I came home, all I had was the things I acquired in prison. A bunch of receipts from going to the store. I had a fairly decent bit with help from the streets. So I had things from the store. I had a TV that I had got that was not my own TV. I came up on a TV, so I kept my TV. They was like, man, leave your TV. I'm like, man, I'm keeping my TV. So anyway, I had my TV, a box of all of my legal work and letters I have received and everything. Pretty much no substance. I have no ID, no social security card, no nothing. I got out to this halfway house and began to try to build my life. I was able to get clothes from, you know, Goodwill and people donating stuff or whatever, but I was able to get a job a week after getting out. Actually, I got out on a Wednesday. I got an interview on a Saturday. I started that Monday at a detail shop, right? So, all of that. Now, I got out May 17th. No, I got out May 10th, 2017. I ended up getting a job in construction building grain bins, right? I got that job in about June, July. And I got that job because one of the guys in the halfway house got the job, and he turned me on to the job, right? So, the job was a hard job, building grain bins outside on farms, right? When you see these big metal containers on these farms, I used to build those, right? So it's hard work, it's long hours. You know, you start at you know, before the sun come up, and by the time you leave, the sun gonna be going down, right? So this is the kind of work I did, and I made good money. I made great money, to the point to where I bought a car, then I bought another car, and you know, I'm able to do stuff. I'm helping my family out with money. I had a brother in prison. I was helping him with money. Things were going well. So the people on the job are aware of all of the gains I'm making. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking trips. I'm dealing with Hebrew assemblies. You know, I'm going out of town, staying in nice hotel rooms. You know, I'm living life. And for all intents and purposes, it would seem as if this job and this income has pretty much put me on top, right? So at this point, you know, I'm serious about keeping the commandments. I'm serious about keeping Shabbat. And it comes a point in time where my, you know, supervisor, the owner of the company, got a little slick at the mouth. You know, he was drunk one day. We used to drink on the job, get high, smoke weed, you know what I'm saying? All that, right? So, he was on an out-of-town job or whatever, and he got a little slick at the mouth, to the point to where I quit the job. And something was telling me that these people think I'm gonna come back because they know I've gotten everything I've gotten from the job, right? And they know I keep Shabbat. They know I need off on feast days. So I felt as if in their mind, right? Because I'm black. I was the only black guy on the crew. Everybody else is white. So, you know, they know what it is. They know I don't eat pork. They know I ain't on a lot of stuff, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking they think that I need them, that I quit, but I'm gonna be back. So now, mind you, I'm a little worried. I quit on principle. I quit cause, you know, I ain't finna let dude talk to me how he talk to me. He can take this job, he can shove it up his rear end. You know what I'm talking about? So I quit, not having another job, not knowing where I'm gonna work and all this. So the thing was, I was firmly convicted on keeping a Shabbat. It wasn't a thing that I wanted to compromise on. And, you know, with all of these requirements, I'm wondering, where am I going to work? Because at the time, I'm not compromising at all. At the time, I kept Saturday, so I needed off on Saturday, off the rip. So, long story short, I stood my ground on my morals about going back to the job, on my morals about keeping, you know, feast days and Shabbat days. And it took me about 3 weeks to a month. Now, I had some savings up, you know what I'm saying, to where I paid certain bills and everything, and it was straight. But the Most High allowed for me, when funds started running low and things were getting tight, he allowed me to find another income that I was able to keep everything that I had gotten. And I was able to keep my word. I was able to continue on in keeping his commandments, right? All praises to the Most High for that. Now, it took amunah, it took believing, it took trusting, you know, and it took staying down when the times got hard, you know, and he showed himself in the end. Another time, my son, when I found out my wife was pregnant, we had always planned to have a home birth or to have a natural birth. So, through some other brothers and sisters, we heard about a place, birthing center, right? We heard about a birthing center. Now, my wife always has been anemic and always have had issues with her blood, being tired and, you know, things like that, right? Going into it, she knew she was high risk. So when we register at this center, birthing center, we assuming that everything's fine, we're gonna be able to get in. And she was pregnant until, you know, she was like 4 months pregnant. So we put in for this birthing center to start having checkups, you know, and all of this. So it take them like a month and a half, 2 months to finally get back with us. And guess what they tell us when they get back with us? We're not going to be able to service you because you are high risk for having problems in your delivery, and we don't have the equipment to help you if you should have any issues. It's some kind of a machine, I guess, if you bleed out, for them to filter your blood to make it clean again, to put it back in you. So they're like, we don't have that equipment, so we can't help you. So at that point, we start trying to find midwives. And this ain't the part. So we trying to find midwives. Now, my son was due in August. Now, I don't know if you know this, but it's a lot of people who are born in the month of August. I guess because it's a lot of consummating in those winter months, you know, around December or January, you know, and February, to have them babies in August. So all the midwives that we called were booked up, right? So it's to the point to where, mind you, at this point, she about 6 months pregnant. 6 to 7 months pregnant. We in a point to where, okay, we either continue to look, or we nut up and go to a hospital. Because for one, we didn't plan on having any shots. We didn't want any what they call it, what's the shots that the baby get when it's born? We didn't want any of that. Immunizations. We didn't want no immunizations. And at this time, this is the height of COVID. You're talking about the summer of 2020, where it's videos of them locking people up, you know, telling people they can't leave the hospital, getting DFS involved. It's all kind of stuff out here to where we're not trusting these hospitals. We don't want nothing to do with these hospitals, right? So my wife said, she said, look, I don't want to have my baby in these people hospital. They say I'm high risk. We can't find a midwife. So if we got to, we just gonna have the baby ourselves at home. I said, we gonna have the baby ourselves? I don't know nothing about having no babies. I don't know. If they don't know what to do if you bleed out, what I'm gonna do if you bleed out? She said, well, if I die, I die. She did it like Drago. If he dies, he dies. I said, man, woo. What we gonna do about that? What we gonna do about that? So I'm like, well, that's what you want to do. We gonna put the faith, the trust in the Creator that, it's all gonna work out. This was in about May. She said this, May, April. A couple weeks after that, man, because we prayed to the Most High. We like, man, we need some, give us somebody, give us a midwife, we need some help. So she, a couple weeks later, we found a midwife. We wanted to have a natural pregnancy. She didn't want to do no narcotics. She didn't want to do no pharmaceuticals at all, right? So fortunately, how the Abba worked, not only did we find a midwife, but we found a midwife that lived 20 minutes away, because we was calling everywhere. We was calling midwives in Kansas City, midwives in St. Louis. All of these are an hour to 2 hours away, right? 2-3 hours away. We found a midwife that was 20 minutes away from the house. And we found one who was knowledgeable about all the herbs and plants, everything we needed to have a natural birth, to help my wife get her blood count up, right? Because the high risk was that she had a low blood count, and that her blood would not clot like it should clot after the pregnancy. So we was able to get her levels up, man, and all praises to the Most High. As you see, we had a perfectly beautiful and healthy son, in the face of possible death. The labor went so well, my wife was up cleaning the house the next day. She was up cleaning the house the next day, to the point I said, babe, you're going to have to get somewhere and sit down now. I mean, I appreciate you. I love your zeal and everything. I'm proud of you, but you're going to have to get some rest. But the Most High once again, showed up and showed out for us trusting in Him, right? Another example. I am currently right now in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't live in Atlanta, Georgia, but, we can go back again about Amunah and about the Most High coming through. I had a terrible accident. I was involved in a terrible accident. Myself and my family, we almost died. I still got scars. To show. I got rods in my arm, and rods in my leg, and rods in my hip, and rods in my pelvis. Almost died. Through the gift of the Most High Yah and the ahab, the love of the brothers and sisters in the walk, over $9,000 got donated to me and my family that helped us to pay all of our bills, right? So after that accident, I said I wanted to serve the Most High. I wanted to serve His people. I wanted to be about action. I wanted to live the scriptures instead of just talking about the scriptures, right? I wanted to live it. When they talk about helping the needy and the poor and ministering to the orphan and the widow, I wanted to live it. So I set out to go do outreach, to go do ministry. I started off in Cincinnati. Some things happened over some course of events. I had to come back home. Then I had the Hebron men's gathering in Tennessee, and immediately after the Hebron men's gathering, I said I was going to come to Atlanta and do the outreach. So I'm here. Mind you, I don't make a lot of money. I don't make a lot of money at all. I used to make enough that I provided for my family, to the point that my wife didn't have to work for the longest. She has to work now, sadly, I must say. But anyway, being out here on the road and being in these different cities, the money I make that was already not significant has been less. I've been making less money than I used and need to make, right? So things been looking real bad since I've been here. Real bad on the money tip. Real bad on the money tip as far as providing for my household, right? And I had car issues, had a lot of different issues. I got sick. I could have had COVID or something, you know what I'm saying? I was doing real bad for a couple days. Y'all probably heard it in my videos with the coughing and the mucus and all that, right? So it was a lot of things to point towards me going back home. Go back home to make the money I need to make. Go back home to help my wife. Go back home to, so it can be easier for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here putting this stuff on myself, by myself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, man, like I'm here for a reason. I'm here, I'm here for a goal. I'm here to be of service. So should I just turn around and just leave? You know what I'm saying? Should I just turn around and just go? So that was out of the question. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That was truly out of the question. But Hasatan, when he catch you in the wilderness, he try to talk to you, But if you would just, and maybe if you did this, then, he talked to you like that. But you got to rebuke him. You got to admonish him. Tell him, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here. So I'm telling them, get out of here. And the whole time, stuff's not necessarily getting better while I'm confirmed to stay and do the work, right? Matter of fact, it's getting worse. You know what I'm saying? It's getting worse. And it's looking more and more grim. Because not only am I not working like I need to work, well, I'm not making what I need to make. I got Shabbats. I got new moon days. Right? Now, when you keep the lunar Shabbat, there are times in which you can have a Shabbat and a new moon day in the same week. At the ending and the beginning of a month. You get the fourth, you get the last Shabbat, and then you get the new moon feast day of the beginning month. So, which is another thing. A lot of people say, how you have two Shabbats, but it's like new moon day is not a Sabbath really. It's a feast day. People cook. People, have festivities on feast day. You just can't labor. You can't work for money. You can't cause anyone else to work for money. But anyway. So during these times, I don't work. And I'm here to do ministry. Guess when ministry happens? On the weekend. And I'm dealing with two groups of people that do ministry. One might do it on a Saturday. Another might do it on a Sunday. So guess what? Shabbat, 2 days of outreach. That's 3 days I don't get to work. You know what other people would say? Brother, you need to work. You need to provide for your family. You need to make sure. Like, man, the Abba gonna provide, man. The Abba gonna provide. He's definitely gonna provide. It's not providing at the moment. I don't see it at the moment. But some kind of way, he gonna provide. So, Now, mind you, I'm looking for stuff. I'm not just sitting still. I'm looking for jobs. I'm looking for little side jobs. I'm looking for little things I could do. I'm putting irons in the fire, but nothing's coming to fruition. So my main bill I'm worried about now is the rent. I'm worried about that rent. Got to get that rent paid. Mind you, the rent went up as well. It's higher than it was last month. So I'm doing all these things. I'm doing the outreach. I'm doing what work I can. You know, working a whole lot for very little. And mind you, Lunar Sabbath is a lot difficult to keep a job than Saturday Sabbath. Most jobs give you off on Saturday. Oh yeah, they will give you off on the weekend. You know why? Because the system, the beast system, revolves around the weekend. I don't know if you notice or not. The beast system revolves around the weekend for its worship and for its commerce. That's how you keep a people bound and chained, by worship and commerce, and by entertainment. The entertainment is about the weekend. I'm just saying, your football games, your basketball, a lot of this stuff is weekend stuff. But anyway, so that's another thing the Hasatan was messing with me about. Maybe you ought to just go ahead and get you a regular job. You know, maybe you just ought to go ahead and just stop all this, you know, Lunar Sabbath stuff and just get out here and just do this. I got family members telling me the same thing. You know, a mama on me about it. You need to get your better job. You need to, so you can spend more time with the family and do all this stuff, right? So anyway, lo and behold, I get a call from a brother, man. He got a job for me. And the job he got for me gonna be enough to pay my rent with. And it's a job I could do in 1 day, in 1 to 2 days. Whereas the money I'm gonna make from this job, it would have took me about a week to make this money. Right? So I just said that to say, be ye encouraged and trusting in the Most High, man. Because He gonna bring you out when you honor Him. When you honor Him by keeping your word. Okay? When you honor Him by keeping your word. When you honor Him by putting yourself in a place of disadvantage. I've been disadvantaged. I've been disadvantaged. Okay? I've been put in places that's very uncomfortable. I've slept in my car. You know, I'd be like this. I slept in my car like this. You know what I'm saying? I slept in my car and slept outside in tents. You know, I didn't, you know, just stuff you couldn't, I don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? I do these lives and stuff, and y'all probably think everything's just all fine in my life. It's really not. You know what I'm saying? But it's for the esteem of the Abba. You know, and it's by these things that I can rejoice in Him, and I can rejoice in His word, and I can know His word to be true because I'm living it. You know what I'm saying? But I was talking about living it. I was talking about the, you know, the nice and the feel good. I didn't know the bad was a part of the living it too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That fire of adversity. I didn't know about that part, but it's in there. So, you know, I just want to encourage everybody else, man. It might look bad. You know, you might feel like it's going to be bad on me if I don't do this other stuff rather than do what I feel in my heart I need to be doing. I feel in my heart I need to go to A. But if I go to A, it's going to hurt me. And if I get hurt, then I'm going to be down bad. So I'm going to go to B instead. To each his own, right? To each his own. You know, you do what you feel is best. You know, if a man do a thing, he do it in front of his master. Right? So, you know, but I would like to offer my testimony to encourage you to step out. Step out. Try him. Hold on, because it's going to get tight. Oh, when you set thy heart to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation. You better, hey, listen, it's not for them. It's not for the tenderhearted. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You got to be built of a different cloth, you know. And you know, I'm the kind of person who had a rough life all my life. So it's not, you know, a lot of these things is just, you know, it's not really that hard for me. But since I've been out of prison, it hasn't been my testimony to have these problems with bills, to have these issues. So for me, it was like things had been going great until now. Even with the accident, I didn't have an issue with bills. I didn't have an issue with taking care of things because it was always provided. This was the first time I was really like, I really might lose. Well, this time and the time with my boss. When I quit my job, I thought it was very possible that I might lose all of that. You know, like maybe I'm supposed to go another route. But those who trust in him, he will not put to shame. He will not put you to shame, brothers and sisters. And I'm telling you, I lived it. I'm living it currently. This is to date. This is to date. I'm talking about. This ain't something I'm telling you about months ago and years ago. Them other stories was a year or two ago, but I'm talking about something that's going on right this second. You know, so I'm telling you, trust in them for real. Put it on the line, man. Put it on the line, man. It's easy. It's easy to go the other route. It's so easy, man. It'd have been so easy for me to go home. Guess what's at home? My wife is at home. My beautiful wife with her beautiful self that I could go and embrace. My child is at home. My beautiful child is home. But daddy is off to war. You know? Daddy is off to war. And I gotta be war-minded. You know? So yeah, man. I just want to encourage anybody that's thinking about doing something but worried about it and don't know what they're gonna do, how they're gonna do, and what if and what. Man, listen, man. Let's go.